Okay, we are live here at the Real Short Box. Thank you everybody for tuning in and joining us. For those that have never seen us before, welcome, and for those that are returning, always a pleasure to have you on the show here and in the chats. So we're going to do today, it's going to be a little bit of speculation for the hugely popular Disney Plus series WandaVision. And tonight we have a very special guest, Julio from We Can Be Heroes, is here, and he is ready to talk speculation. Now, before we get into that, let's just briefly mention some of the characters in the series and why you like them, like your favorite character from WandaVision and why. Let's kind of just pop that out there real quick, why, do a few things in the background, and then we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good.
Well, I certainly like Vision, or at least what's of Vision is a particular version of him, or the illusion of Vision. You know, you feel sorry for him because, especially as we get along with the series, we learns more and more that things are not what it seems to be, and he's learning more and more. He's learning more and more of the truth, and the poor guy is just devastating. You notice when he was trying to go through the barrier, and he was basically dying again because he was leaving that reality. He was trying to get help from Darcy.
Yeah.
So you feel really bad for the poor guys. Like, you wish maybe there is a way to bring him back. And I think maybe they're leading to that because I don't think they want to get rid of Paul Bettany permanently. So I think there'll be a way to bring him back, but probably through an alternate version.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or he'll,
like, for example, what's that West Coast Avengers version where he's like all whitish or grayish? Maybe that's the way. Maybe that's the way to do it. It's the white privilege issue. But that'd probably be the way to do it, to bring, Vision back into the picture in that way, that capacity.
Well, he didn't have his memory of the past Vision when he turned into that Vision.
Mm-hmm. It's a robot, for crying out loud. You can bring him back.
It's true.
Is he a robot? He's more than a robot, right?
He's more than a robot. He's a synthoid.
He's Jarvis, damn it.
Correct term, synthoid?
I heard him use some term like that. Kind of remind me of G.I. Joe with those blobby figures that were human, and they would melt into like grayish blob figures.
Putties,
yeah.
Oh my God! Putties. Don't even get me on that.
Actually, we did an audio on that years ago, like one of our first pods. We talked about that.
We did not talk about putties, buddy.
No, not putties, but like the G.I. Joe episode, the Synthway Conspiracy.
What's wrong with putties?
Nothing wrong with putties.
God damn, that show is just so bad. I'm sorry.
You about Power Rangers?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite books that is out on the shelves today.
You're telling me it's really good.
Yes, it's very good. Very good.
Is it selling well, at least?
It sells well, and it took it a while because, Kyle Higgins, who is doing Radiant Black now, who did Power Rangers to start it off, I picked it up just as a gag and read it and loved every issue going forward. It was amazing. And that Parrot guy that's writing it now is doing a really good job.
Gentlemen,
excellent.
I went ahead and I posted on my social media and on the Super Palooka page, Kevin. So if you all want to go ahead and post, Kevin, on your page and on the Real Short Box Facebook and stuff like that, feel free to do so. We'll get some viewers popping in. Looks like we already have a few. And let's open up some of the chat. It looks like Janet has joined us. She says, "Love my Scarlet Witch." Hey, Janet. And Enrique has joined us. He said, "Hey guys," so hey Enrique, thanks for being part of this.
If I may mention another character that I like is Darcy. It's good to see her back. She only saw her in those first two Thor movies, so I'm glad.
I like her.
I'm glad to see her back in the mix.
Yeah, I could do with Kat Dennings any day of the week.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Hey, my niece just popped on. Hey Taylor, thanks for joining us.
Hello, Taylor.
Austin Fox is joining. He says, "Kevin, your background is on point. One of my favorite ads."
Thank you. Oh, that ad, by the way, this ad is freaking hilarious. I was cracking up when I saw it.
For Nexus.
Yes.
There's
there's a meaning behind it, obviously.
Right.
Which makes sense to my theory from Avengers Endgame that I thought they were going to do, but now it looks like they'll be doing it in this realm, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, word.
We don't know what you're saying yet, but we will.
Not yet, yes.
We will know what you're saying.
Correct.
We're actually here, guys, today. I don't know if you noticed, but we're here today to talk about sports cards, about football cards. And no, we're not. I'm kidding.
No.
Come on now.
Yeah.
What's the football?
What is the football? It's a sport, Julio.
Why are you doing this when Darren can't make this episode? You know he would have enjoyed this.
Yes, that was for him. That's a little nod to him. And a little nod to him for recommending this as a podcast idea as well.
That is true.
So, Kevin, now that we have some people in here that are listening, they're watching us, they're watching with bated breath, they're ready. They want to know a little bit about WandaVision. Maybe they haven't seen it at all, and they want to know a little bit more. So, can you give us just the basics of the story, of the premise of WandaVision, and just kind of, we'll go from there.
Okay. Basically, the show starts out where you see Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, and Vision in this weird 1950s TV show. Just really bizarre. It's like they're just been absorbed into like some television world. And you see them living like it's like I Love Lucy in that first episode. You see them living that 1950s type lifestyle. But then towards the end, you realize something else is going on. You see like the TV studio, control center type thing. And then you get into the next episode, they're in the 60s, the early 60s. And then you see them progress into the 70s and 80s and 90s. And what you're seeing is that there's something dark going on behind the scenes. It seems like it's like a real comedy, but in reality, there's something dark in the mist.
Sinister.
And something sinister is in the mist. And then you realize some of the people, and actually pretty much the vast majority of the people that are in this town, it's like they're in this twisted Truman Show type setting. Like they're under mind control of some sort. Like there was like a couple instances where Vision was able to, someone broke out of their spell, the Indian gentleman, and he was like, help me, get me out of here.
Yeah, and able to phase his hands into their head and stop the waves or whatever that's controlling them.
Right, what was controlling them. And then you pick up on a certain character about halfway through. You know something's more going on with her, that she knows more that's going on. And then, of course, we see the introduction of Monica Rambeau, disguised as one of the townspeople. And then, of course, Scarlet Witch figures her out and kicks her out. And then we see, the real world or the common reality that we're used to. And they realize this whole town of Westview, New Jersey, has been taken over by this hex. And interesting, I was telling Donald and Jared last night in a group text, I said, I've driven by Westview, New Jersey. It actually is a real place. It's in Bergen County. Yep. I have some relatives who live not too far from there.
They did live there. Now they're clowns.
Yeah. That's another thing, too. That's really cool. You see, like, the power when we learn more about, Scarlet Witch's just amazing reality abilities, how it just yearly turns things into different buildings or people into different characters, and they have no idea who they were or what they were doing before. So Scarlet Witch has become really powerful since the second snap, interestingly enough. You remember how, she took on Thanos? She was actually giving him the business before he was able to get him off his back. So Scarlet Witch's abilities have enhanced to a point that it comes into a theory I have on her and Doctor Strange and a couple other things that's going to lead us into a full, more comprehensive Marvel Cinematic Universe, including the Fox and Sony characters being integrated, if you know what I mean.
Well, we've got a quick couple mentions here. It looks like Anthony pops in. Hello, Anthony. And Rafael Juarez. Rafael, nice. Who I met at the shop on Saturday. It was.
I finally got to meet Raf.
It was good to put a name to a face. So thank you for joining us again, sir. We always appreciate that very much.
Yeah, Rafael is a loyal supporter, of the Real Short Box. Definitely appreciate him, as well as a loyal customer of We Can Be Heroes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and there was another gentleman that was in there that walked in front of Julio's feed to talk to him about Pokemon cards or something, which I found hilarious.
It happens all the time.
I bet it does, but it's always fun to watch. It really is. All right.
But Julio, do you appreciate this little time travel? Well, not so much time travel, but just times we're going through all these different eras of television histories from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And I like the cool thing where they're taking shows that we're familiar with and using that for the opening. So they had the Family Ties type of opening for the 80s version. And then kind of like the Malcolm in the Middle for the 90s. It's kind of cool how they do that.
Well, my thing was I watched the first 2 episodes at the store after closing hours with a few people, and I hated it. I totally hated it. I was like, I'm done. Yeah, I'm not gonna get suckered into watching another hour of this. And then and this is one of the things I love about the shop is that people come in and they're like, "Are you watching WandaVision?" I said, "I only saw the first 2 episodes." "Oh my God, You have to wait till episode 4,
Right.
which is crazy.
Actually, I would say 3. I would say 3. I would argue 3 before it starts getting somewhere.
I disagree. Yeah. I'll argue 4 as well.
Well, yeah. 4 things really take off, but for me, the latter part of 3 is where the part where she mentions Ultron to Wanda. That's where things start to really turn, in my opinion. When she gets kicked out of the.
Who are you talking about? Mentions it. It's Monica, correct?
Yeah, Monica, disguised as Geraldine.
Right.
Yeah, because out of the blue, they're talking. Remember, she helped her deliver the babies, deliver the twin boys, and then they're talking, and then out of the blue, she says, "Oh yeah, Ultron." She mentions her brother Pietro. And like, Ultron killed him, and she's like, "What did you say?" Yeah. And everything kind of just started getting dark.
So episode 1 was very much like a 50s sitcom. In a way.
Sitcom, I Love Lucy type comedy.
There was a few weird things. It was about Vision having his boss over for dinner, and Wanda's powers, and her trying to work with those, and her neighbor. What was her name? The neighbor.
The talkie neighbor. Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah,
but she's really good at her part.
I think it was Agnes.
Agnes.
Yeah, I think her name was Agnes. And she was in it, and she was helping out, bringing over stuff. Agnes has basically been in every episode and extremely helpful and extremely talky in every episode. So then we go into the
she's one of the best parts of the show.
We go into the second. We go into the second episode. It's more of a 60s type I Dream of Jeannie story. Mm-hmm. And we start to see a little more cracks in the story. I think that had to do with a magic show. Am I correct on that one?
Yeah, with the magic show.
There was a magic show, and they were trying to figure out how to do all these magic acts because Vision got drunk on bubblegum. Apparently, he gummed up his works. He had some gum, and he And so then he acted like he was drunk. So he was like, "Look, I can fly," and all this. So then Wanda had to pretend and show that there was strings that were holding him and stuff like that. She had to create these scenarios to show that he's not really superpowered. Right. She's trying to fix everything. So that was fun and interesting. So that much I appreciated. But the story still didn't go deep enough for me. And I was like, okay, I really am not into this right now. So I waited till the third episode. The third episode takes place in the 70s, and that's when it changes into color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, when it changes into color, then we get this very 70s vibe, and then she's pregnant with twins, and anybody that reads the comic books knows that that's basically coming and what's going to happen. They kind of get a feel for that. So she has she's pregnant. She has these twins and stuff, and it's still very sitcom-ish. But near the end, as Kevin was stating, when one of the characters, who's actually Monica Rambeau, that got absorbed into the story, she basically gets caught by Wanda as being an outsider, an infiltrator, and they kick her out of, Wanda kicks her out of the story and out of her world that she's created over this town, and then taken the townspeople and made them into her vision, so to speak. No pun intended. So we get that for the 70s, the third episode, and then the fourth episode basically takes place all outside of Wanda's world, and then that's when they bring in Kat Dennings' character,
Darcy,
thank you, and Jimmy,
and Jimmy Woo,
right, Jimmy Woo, and then, of course, Monica as well, and they try to figure out how they can reach her and what they can do to try to convince her to let these townspeople go, because she's basically holding them hostage, or so they think. That's that's the fourth episode. The fifth episode builds upon that, and we get more of an 80s Family Ties type feel with the twins that are now full born and starting to grow. And then we go from that next episode into the last episode, I believe, that we watched. Second to last. There was a 90s episode.
The Halloween Spectacular.
Yep, the 90s episode. At the end of the fifth episode was when Pietro reappeared, but Pietro
a different version.
Was the more popular Fox version than the actual Avengers Disney version that we saw. So that was very clever that they brought in Pietro, they brought in Quicksilver, and then he was fully in the episode, which was the 90s Halloween episode. And that's where Vision starts to really poke and prod and realize that something's wrong with people around him and where he's at. And he starts to explore and then finds his way outside of the Hex world to try to reach out and tell people to come in and save these people. They're being held prisoner. And then he gets sucked back in, pulled back into the world. And then we go into the next episode, which is this last episode that we just saw.
Well, he doesn't really get sucked in. The world kind of expands.
Yeah, yeah, but it started to pull him back in, suck him piece by piece back in, and then it expanded outwards. And it actually pushed itself over people that were on the outside world, and when it did, it turned them into clowns and stuff and made them part of a circus, which was very clever in a lot of ways. And it actually got Darcy, too. She got sucked into that world. So then the next episode, which is the 2000s, so to speak, kind of an Office vibe, if you will.
Yeah, breaking the fourth wall.
Right. We get that kind of a story, and we get Vision trying to figure more things out with the help of Darcy. They team up kind of together. We get more intrigue on the outside as Monica attempts to make her way back into the Hex using a vehicle, like a Martian rover, so to speak, which does not turn out the way they wanted. And a few other things take place. So it becomes very obvious then at the end of episode 7. So those that haven't seen it, this is going to be a big spoiler. It becomes very obvious at the end of episode 7 when we get the appearance of Agnes is not really Agnes. She makes herself known. The neighbor, the nosy neighbor, the loudmouth, or whatever. She is actually Agatha Harkness, who is at kind of a bad witch, good witch, bad witch, take it or leave it.
She's an immortal.
Right, she's an immortal. She makes some. She was there for the fall of Atlantis. She played an important role in the Salem witch trials. She's been around a long time, you know. Agatha is like a hardcore character in Marvel canon. Not somebody that a lot of people knew about, and only hardcore Marvel fans really got excited by that. Everybody else is like, who? You know, because you don't see any comic books on the shelf with Agatha. You know, they're just not there. So this was a deep cut.
So, they went deep into the, the roster.
And yes, Raphael Dennings is quite an attractive-looking young lady. Yes, she's
I would agree.
Yep. Pennsylvania.
And then now we're going to talk a little bit. Let's dive into some theories. Now, before we get started, hey Sammy, thanks for joining. Before we get started, I just want to mention really quick that I would like to hear what the audience has to say as far as like just throw out a theory that you've heard or that you're thinking. And then we can expand upon that a little bit. And then we'll go off on our own little theories that we have as well. So anybody in the chats right now that wants to mention a theory that they have or that they've heard of, we'll be happy to tear into that and kind of dive real deep into the theories of the WandaVision TV series. And you can do that while I sip my lovely, lovely whiskey and soda.
Is that Irish whiskey?
No.
The one I'm drinking is Kentucky.
Yeah, same here.
Kentucky bourbon. Wow. Well, I'm enjoying some good old tap.
So Raphael says, I think we're going to get one, maybe two key X-Men soon.
That's part of my little theory too. Well, technically, we already did for all intents and purposes. Got Quicksilver.
Yep. Right. Matt Evil wants to know, is Quicksilver the Fox one or just a red herring?
I think... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Walter says the globalists are running sword.
Maybe.
And then Sammy says, I like Kevin's background. So, Kevin, you've got 2 likes on your background. Ooh la la.
Yeah, sounds good. That means people are paying attention.
You fancy as hell. You fancy as hell.
There we go.
So,
did you guys get did that one commercial about the watches? It was von Strucker.
Oh yeah, Strucker.
Baron
Yeah,
von
the Strucker watch. Yeah, the Strucker watch.
There
That
were
was pretty
several kind of Hydra-y evil entity type commercials like that. The other one I think was for the bath soap, is what it was. Yeah.
Which, by the way, that tells you that Wanda's not really in control in the way that the people on the outside think she's in control. She's being manipulated to, and within this reality. Because why would she have that stuff out there? You know what I mean?
Matt?
Right.
So this is all about teasing the appearance of probably the next major cosmic villain, or maybe even a couple of major cosmic villains.
Or a return of one.
We will get there very, very soon, Kevin. I agree in a way, and I have another angle with that. Let's go with the Quicksilver idea. Now, Matt says, is Quicksilver the Fox one or just a red herring? Now, there is a couple theories going around. One of them being, since we have now seen Agatha Harkness, she has been revealed. Agatha has a son, and that son's name is Nicholas Scratch, if I recall. And Nicholas Scratch is an evil wizard dude. He's like a bad guy. He's a main villain for the Fantastic Four, and another character that we haven't heard much about lately, Patsy Walker. So we have Nicholas Scratch in there, but the more popular theory is if it's not actually her creating Quicksilver and bringing him into the world as a different interpretation, the other theory is it could be a more demonic presence, and that would be Mephisto. For those that don't know who Mephisto is basically kind of the devil. He's Beelzebub, he's Old Scratch, he's a nasty little guy. He's Loki on speed. He's
and he was part of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline in the comic books. You know, he kind of was, kissing up the Thanos, but of course at the time he wasn't available for the MCU. He
would have been in the Return of the Red Skull scene when Thanos throws his daughter over. That would have been played by Mephisto. Also, by the way, Silver Surfer 3, right?
Number 4?
Yes.
I thought it was 4.
4 is the classic Thor versus...
Yeah. That's right, Thor. That's right.
Issue 3 of Silver Surfer is the first appearance of Mephisto.
On fire.
Yeah, that one they mentioned Mephisto a long time ago as being a possibility for some. I think it was for Doctor Strange or something like that at some point.
And a multiverse of madness.
And everybody lost their minds, and then it died down really quickly. Like a couple months later, there was nothing. And then that's when people that were in the know grabbed the book, because it went back down. So, yeah.
Smart people.
I'm with you there, buddy. So you have to do those kind of things when you're collecting. That's a big thing. But anyway, let's get back to it being the possibility of Mephisto. If it's Mephisto, then we have a whole link to not only the Darkhold itself, which is the book that we see at the end of episode 7, but we have a whole link to the Dark Marvel universe. And we're talking Man-Thing, we're talking Werewolf by Night, we're talking Dracula, we're talking about
Nightmare,
Damien Hellstorm, Nightmare, which will actually be a villain in the Doctor Strange Multitude of Madness movie. He's one of the main villains in that, so we will see.
And these series are connected. This series is connected to that movie, so I have a funny feeling where this is going.
Right,
this is where it's going. Yeah,
they said that it directly ties into Doctor Strange. You can't watch the Doctor Strange movie. At one point, they stated this, and it was in 2019 at the Comic-Con in San Diego. They said you cannot watch Doctor Strange 2 in the Multitude of Madness without first watching WandaVision. It is that important to the lead up, the building blocks that does go into the next segment with Doctor Strange. So that's very important to note. A few other quick things that we have. Let's see. One more question here. Okay, Matt Evil says, will Vision's experimentation lead to the Sentinels? And he's talking about the experimentation from S.W.O.R.D.
Right.
That's a possibility.
It's possible.
Because
Possible.
Yeah.
they're analyzing and breaking down this android type thing, and maybe they're going to use that as the bones for the Sentinel program. I think, honestly, though, they've done a lot with Vision already that I don't know if they're going to try to, because he was already he was created by Ultron in a way. Ultron and him go hand in hand. So to bring that then into the X-Men universe, I don't know if that technically
might be too much.
Right.
Too much.
It's possible, Matt. It's possible. Yeah. What do you think?
I think that a lot of it has to do with just the ability, the time travel, and I think Doctor Strange movie, the next one, is going to be probably one of the smartest Marvel movies ever. I mean, the direction they're taking with WandaVision is completely really clever and completely different than everything else that they're doing, and they're just preparing you for this total, I don't know, for lack of a better word, mindfuck movie that Doctor Strange is going to be. It's going to open doors. You're going to time travel. You're going to open portals. And we've gotten samples of little things here and there that are going to be completely expanded on.
I have a funny feeling since Sam Raimi's directing that movie and we're seeing little things here in this series, wouldn't it be something if we happen to get a little tease of the other former two people who played Peter Parker Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield? Wouldn't that be something we got a little tease on in the last episode?
Yeah, no, that would be amazing. And I think Sam Raimi is the right guy for the job, especially doing a movie like Doctor Strange is appearing. It's going to be. I think it's going to be really crazy. I mean, the first one was kind of weird and crazy compared to everything else, but now we're on a whole new level with this show. I mean, some people hate it, and I'm like, no, this is great. I mean, I don't think DC could put a movie on like this.
This is how you set up, the merging of the other Marvel Cinematic Universes,
right.
The Fox and the Sony universes. This makes perfect sense, the way to do it.
Possible. Evan just popped in, Evan Aldrich. Hey, Evan, nice to see you. Thanks for joining.
What's up, Evan?
Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Taylor, you said, do you think the twins are the evil like the comics have them as from?
Well, they hinted at it. I mean, because they were in the costumes, the Wiccan costume that he would show up in Young Avengers later.
Yeah.
And because they disappear, right? If I remember,
they're in that dark basement somewhere when she was looking for them.
They disappear for many years in the comic books and then reappear in Young Avengers later.
I'm talking about the TV show in that last episode. Right. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean,
but
they're going in that direction.
He's talking about. Taylor says the devil character you were just speaking of, Mephisto. They are saying he is the possible father. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible that Mephisto has done something to Wanda to create these children and stuff. I think
kind of like the evil version of the Immaculate Conception.
But I also think this
devil.
This might not be as complicated as we think. We might be going a little too far. This could just be part of Wanda's mourning for Vision and just needing to go through this, and then her being manipulated by Agatha, but not only by Agatha, but by these outside sword forces. So if Agatha is manipulating her, and she's a magical character, she must have been drawn to her somehow. And if she was, who else is drawn to her as well? That's the key question you have to ask.
Well, I think Vision was drawn to her. I mean, remember the birth of Vision, the first person I think he looked at was Wanda. So, I don't know, maybe it's a big super plan. Yeah,
it's possible. Could be a very big super plan. Jarrett says, I think Marvel is going to be big. That's a good speculation, Jarrett. Matt Evil says, in the comics, I think the twins are made from a portion of Mephisto's soul. I think that's correct, if I recall, but those two that are created eventually are destroyed. Those two, they're not real, so they get rid of them. And then later we get the real Wiccan, and we get the other real brother. But at this point, we don't know if those are those characters or if they're the characters that they're going to use that appear later and are actually real. We're not sure at all. So speculational speaking, you're right. I mean, that could actually possibly be that, but that's not necessarily where we're going with this. We just don't know. There's not enough information, in other words, in that category for us to really speculate hard on. I said hard.
Right.
Hey, Raphael says, rumor is Reed Richards will appear soon. Raphael, I think that is not quite where we're going with this. I think we might get Blue Marvel quicker than you think. And
right.
Kevin, Julio, you guys let me know what your thoughts are on that.
I don't think Reed Richards is coming. I could see
Not
Blue
yet.
Marvel coming.
Not
I
yet.
think I could see Blue Marvel coming. And I think we're definitely going to get somebody big. And
yeah,
hopefully,
the last episode is going to be a Luke Skywalker type of surprise.
yes.
Someone's going to appear. It's going to give us a heart attack. Perhaps it could be, of all people, Michael Fassbender's Magneto. You know, you never know. It could be someone like that. He would never. Someone's going to shock us.
And he goes, "Hello, daughter."
Yeah, he's the dad, right?
And then everybody, and TVs are ruined across the world.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin my TV. Sammy says, "Ooh, I would love to see Reed Richards. Depends on who they get to play him, though." And Jarrett says, "How about that Rambeau getting some powers?" Yes.
Photon. That's right. Photon. It looks like photon type powers. I'm not sure.
Well, it also could be
Photon's
the
powers
Grim
is
Reaper.
very similar to Spectrum's powers in a lot of ways.
Powers. Okay.
So, and plus there's one in between. Jarrett, who was the character in between Photon and Spectrum that Monica was? There was another one in between there. Jarrett knows. I know he knows. So he'll tell us in the comments here in a moment.
Yeah, he loves Monica Rambeau. He's a big fan.
Nice. Well, like I was saying, there was the headpiece for the Grim Reaper was in the basement. So that's
interesting.
Wonder Man's brother, right?
Yeah. I think
so.
Right.
And there was a picture of Wonder Man in the first episode, I think, on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's Wonder Man, maybe it's the Grim Reaper that are going to show up, and not somebody as familiar as Reed Richards.
It's Pulsar, by the way, is the character Monica created in between Photon and Spectrum. But the most current incarnation of Monica Rambeau right now is Spectrum. So that, if I was a betting man, that would be the one I'd put my money on. That would be the horse I would back. I'd be surprised if they went.
Terrible internet service, by the way.
Today,
I was just about to say that.
Today,
maybe not.
Very terrible internet service, Monica. So thank you for that. Yeah. And Jared even agrees. He says they'll go with Spectrum, which I don't think you can go wrong on that. Now, let's talk about if Agatha's husband is Ralph is Mephisto. Now, we do see the Darkhold in the end of episode 7. The Darkhold is known as the Book of Sins, or Spells, and it's made of dark matter from the Hell Dimension. Now, the Hell Dimension, of course, makes it seem like that would be a direct connection with Mephisto. Also with possibly Damien Hellstorm, Blade, Moon Knight. It could even lead to Werewolf by Night, where the Darkhold actually first appeared. Was in Marvel Spotlight number 4, which was a Werewolf by Night issue, which is the first appearance of the Darkhold. So there's so many ways to this dark Marvel universe that it's just pointing to so hardcore that it's hard to ignore that is like one of the top rumors and theories in WandaVision. What do you gentlemen think?
I actually agree with you, because we never see Ralph. He's spoken of, but he's kind of like this mysterious husband.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's so crazy. I remember reading those books and not really ever thinking about him too much over the last, 30 years? It's like our theories are based on just a little bit of knowledge. Everybody's in the dark, even people like us who have read everything. Those weren't crazy stories, back in the day that are so memorable. I mean, if I asked you a memorable story, those aren't going to come up in your top 5.
No.
But they were good stories from the parts I remember. which is cool. It's cool. It's like brand new. I love it.
Yep. I still remember when this guy in my comic book group, fan group, Namus Thomas, Jarrett's going to get a laugh about this, when he said that the Black Knight was never going to be in anything. And now Black Knight is front and center.
Oh, thanks.
Kevin.
Kevin, what are you doing?
Maybe. Yeah. So the Black Knight was going to be front and center then in the Eternals movie, and I got a good chuckle out of that. So this tells you that nothing's off the table. It really is.
Right. Cool.
Andrew says her mom's calling was Photon. That's my bet for her name, call sign. Andrew, you could be right, 100%. And yes, Jarrett, Kevin was, I think, eating Doritos. Next thing you know, he's going to have loud, crunchy corn nuts to be chomping on, I believe. He loves his nuts.
Wow.
Cashews.
It's true, though. Yeah, he likes cashews and pecans. Mm-hmm. I know these things. Anyway, so the last time we saw the Darkhold has been in Marvel things before. It was in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And also in Runaways. So we had a bit of a crossover with that Darkhold there between the two. I don't think that that's going to be a way that they're going to tie those series to the MCU. I don't think that those have just been very loosely tied to it and not really something that they're banking on using anytime soon. So I think this Darkhold might be a little bit different. This is a different thought process. And in fact, when I was digging into looking at the history of Darkhold in the MCU, I found a little bit of an image where someone had shown Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, was in that library section where he should not have been. Mm. And there was a book area where a book that was in like the Don't Touch section looked like the Darkhold in the background.
Oh.
And so it's possible that originally the Darkhold was held by the monks, I guess, in that temple with Doctor Strange, where he was learning to be Doctor Strange, and something happened. And in which case, the Multitude of Madness might start out with explaining how exactly the Darkhold got out. That might be the opening. Right. It shows somebody running down the street with a book in their arms, and they're being chased or whatever, and then we get that classic, oh, this is what happens. It's a setup, It makes sense.
There's probably a million things we've seen in the past few movies that they're going to tie into this. Little things, just conversations. I think there was a conversation with Thor was having with Doctor Strange, that hints to something going on right here with WandaVision.
Yeah.
So
absolutely, yeah. There's a lot we can talk, and we've got so much more to talk about. Besides Ralph being Mephisto, there's another popular theory. Now, this one comes from being Chthon, and maybe I'm mispronouncing it. It's Chthon, who's the elder god that resides in another dimension. Those that don't know who this character is, he's responsible for the creation of witches, werewolves, and vampires. Again, another tie to the Marvel Dark Universe.
Right.
And Raphael, I know you really want X-Men, like hardcore, I can tell. And I'm with you on that. I love X-Men. But I also feel like there's too many signs pointing. For example, Chthon, if he's part of this, then we have Werewolf by Night. And if we have Werewolf by Night, that's where Moon Knight comes from.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's where I think it's going.
Right, and then we have that lead in there. So I think Marvel is a master of misdirection. They're like, look here, and then they slap you across the face with something completely different. Not at all what you thought. Who would have thought that Monica Rambeau book, that Amazing Spider-Man annual, would be a several hundred dollar book,
yes,
when it was a $6 to $15 book not more than a couple months ago.
So I'm glad I listened to you guys and got it when I did. Glad I picked it up when I did, when you guys told me to.
Yep.
I don't know how long we had it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Nobody was picking that book up.
Yeah. When you were at the comic shop, by the way, Julio owns a comic shop with a mutual friend of the podcast, Will. We Can Be Heroes. It's in Chatsworth, California. Julio, how long did that book? When did you know that something was going on? When somebody, who was the first person that ran in and was like, "I want that book"? Do you have this book? Did you start getting requests a lot for that book?
Oh, probably third episode of WandaVision, people started coming in and asking for Wanda and Vision books, and I was like, oh well, we have tons of them in the dollar section of that. They had a big storyline, Wanda and Scarlet Witch, where they got married. They had like a 12 issue limited series, and we had scattered issues. We put the sets together and we had them in another room, but like we had scattered issues in the dollar section, so people were asking for them, and I was like, really? This is going to heat up. West Coast Avengers is heating up. I'm like, okay. So I looked into it and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. This happened here. A Wanda turns evil here. Vision does this here. I'm like, oh, I should probably start picking it out. But what the best part of all that was, it was little kids. Little girls were asking for it. They wanted to know about the Vision. Little kids were, it was great because you don't see kids in the comic book store. And now they're in. They it's something you always want to see is kids starting to read the stuff, and they were totally in. And they didn't want like just pictures like on the cover of Wanda or Vision. They wanted stuff that was directly tied to this show.
Yeah, it's smart. I mean, that shows not only. And think about it. Like, I think a lot of adults now, like ourselves that have children, are like, hang on to your books. You never know where these are going to, go, and how far they can take you in life. Because I'm collecting for me, for my fun, but I'm also collecting for your future. So,
yeah,
that's important to note. But also, kids just love to dress up and play, and
right.
That's what kind of got me into comic books was Ninja Turtles when I was a kid. It was Ninja Turtles, the Archie series that came out, not the Mirage, because it was in black and white, and I was like, no, what? Why? I wanted the colored, purple and red and blue and stuff because of the cartoon, and that's what got me into the shop. So whatever gets you into the shop and gets you reading is an important thing, and it's nice that this series is able to do that. Jarrett made a comment. He said after that last episode, that first Rambo went for $950 at a 9.8.
Oh, it's way over that now.
Yeah.
Way over.
So it's Miles Morales territory now, Jarrett.
Yeah.
So let's move on a little
bit. I think that Miles Morales this week broke a new record too. I think it's like a 9.8. It's like over $2,000.
Yep, and that doesn't count that variant of the names I can't pronounce.
Okay.
Dudovic.
So we have one more theory here. Well, actually, we have a lot of theories, but another theory I'm going to bring up is Ralph, which is Agatha's husband again, is actually Nightmare. And this is leading directly into the second Doctor Strange movie. Nightmare is actually playing the husband.
That's very possible too. That's very possible.
I'm with that. I think that's where it's going.
I think this is a strong possibility because Nightmare's already been cast. We don't know who, but we know that Nightmare's already been cast. He's the ruler of the dream dimension, where you can create scenarios like this. So he's probably maybe even Wanda's not cognizant of what she's doing. He's making her dream these things, and that's happened.
Right.
We've got a Matrix.
Freddy Krueger in a way.
We've got a Matrix type scenario. He has the ability to draw power from the psychic energies of the subconscious minds of dreaming beings, which is why Wanda's dreaming is so much more powerful and making him so much stronger that he's able to grow out of that dream realm. It could account for the parallel Quicksilver. Also, he could be helping her create these things and then taking these things and using him for his own means. There's a lot of things that maybe he's creating these other multitudes of madness, so to speak, in WandaVision and putting that into the Doctor Strange world. So in that film, in the MCU. So we have a lot to think about with Nightmare and his character being introduced in this series. It's probably one of the stronger theories.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to go. I think that's where it's going to go. And eventually, Wanda's going to have to fight back, and she's going to start messing with the timeline, I think. I really think she's going to start trying to combat him, and yeah, that's where it's going to go, I think.
Guess what? The best way to combat him, she would have to draw those other characters from the Fox Marvel and Sony Marvel universes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
More portals
Hey, so
open.
who do you think is gonna play? Who do you think is gonna play Nightmare? I have a guess.
Set.
Johnny Lee Miller.
No, I don't think he's gonna be that young. I think he's gonna be an older chap from Sam Raimi's world.
Oh, it's not gonna be. He's not gonna be Bruce Campbell. Come on.
I totally think so.
Oh my God.
I totally think so.
That'll give down a heart attack if that's the case.
Yes, it would.
He's always been trying to get him in that world, man.
It's very true.
He had big plans for him in the original Spider-Man trilogy.
He was supposed to have been Mysterio at some point, but unfortunately those plans were spoiled.
Yep.
I think that's where he's going. I think it's going to be him.
Oh man, if it is, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind. My mom would know it too. My mom would know it. I lost my mind. Speaking of which, I don't see my mom in the chats again. But anyway, hello, Mom. Thanks for being here. If you're here, if you're not, why? It's okay. We all need breaks from our children.
So Darren's not here.
What's that?
Because Darren's not here.
That's true. Darren's, yes, it's true.
Darren's everyone's favorite.
Let's see. Raphael says Keanu. LOL.
Yeah, well, Keanu's funny for every role.
Yeah, Keanu and what's his name? Shoot, they were talking. He's in. He plays Bloodsport now, or Blood whatever in the Suicide Squad.
Vin Diesel?
No.
Oh,
not Bloodsport.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, yeah. Idris Elba is also up for every single Marvel and DC role in the history of Marvel and DC.
He's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. So we have another one. Basically, this one's very simple. Wanda created a villain. She created Agatha because, as she's been repeatedly told, she doesn't want to end up the villain. So maybe she created Agatha to be the villain in this world. So again, this is another very simple. She created this in this world. Now, whether Nightmare's still a part of that or Mephisto still manipulating, we don't know. But Agatha could actually very well be a creation from Wanda's own mind, much like everything else in there.
It's possible.
Yeah. I don't like that, though.
I don't either. It's too simple. And I don't think that's the way they're going to go, but it is a... It
was all a dream.
Yeah. And then, Kevin, we're going to get to this one, because this one probably your favorite one. This is the WandaVision commercials are actually the Infinity Stones.
Now
the
new Infinity Stones, right?
Right.
That would be new.
Yeah, she's creating the Infinity Stones. And let's go through these one by one. So, I had to write this down because I'm old. So, in episode 1, when they're talking about the toaster, that is in reference to, in that commercial, the Vision, because she lovingly associated him to a toaster. She said that he was her favorite toaster, or she loved her toaster, meaning him. He's a robot. He's a mechanical thing, like a toaster. That would reference the Mind Stone, is what they're saying, because that represents Vision.
Oh,
so that's the episode 1 commercial theory. Episode 2, the Strucker Watch. Right. Easily the Time Stone.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling time. It's a Strucker Watch. Episode 3, we get the Hydra Soak bath powders in a blue box. They think that this is representing the Tesseract, aka the Space Stone, because of the color blue. And because of relaxing and needing space from getting away from it all. Episode 4 does not actually have a commercial, which is where this theory to me kind of falls flat a little bit, because why doesn't episode 4 have a commercial?
Well, also, you have to remember, that was mostly taking place outside.
Right. But they should have, on the screen in the background or something, had something showing to where we could see that there was... it just seemed a bit odd to me.
You probably have to rewatch the episode. You probably rewatch the episode. There's probably something there. You probably have to rewatch the episode to find it.
No, don't watch
Easter egg. Easter egg.
This is what's driving me crazy. Why can't we just watch these shows? Like I watched the show and I enjoyed it, and then the next day I got people. Did you see that on the wall? Did you see this? Did you see that? I'm like, what did you
look,
do?
man,
Like, watch it one
frame at a time.
Yeah,
Look,
I'm like, what is your problem?
Well, that's part of the fun of it. You got to do a little detective work.
It's not fun.
You have to find the Easter eggs that can lead you to the next.
It's fun if you're the first. It's fun if you're the first person to figure it out. But when are you ever the first person to figure that out?
There's always
sometimes I am. Sometimes I am.
No, you never are, Kevin.
No.
Wow.
No.
Yeah. Sorry.
Even when you say you thought of that or said that, it's always coming from somebody else first.
Exactly. It's coming from me.
Yeah. From Julio. Kevin listens to you. He's got one of those big sound whisperer things, and he listens outside your place. You should have never told him where you live, buddy. Should have never told him where you live.
I invited him over a couple times, and look what happened.
Yep. So episode 5, that leads into the Lagos paper towels.
Yes.
Now, they reference the red-soaked spill on the counter that they used to sop it up with the paper towels. They think that that's the ether, or a.k.a. the reality stone.
Stretch!
And also, as you know, a part of Captain America Civil War took place in Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. Next one is in episode 6. We get the Yo Magic yogurt.
Yes, which I didn't understand that commercial at all.
The kid can't open it and eventually dies. He's given a yogurt by a shark, and then he can't open it, and he dies on a deserted island. They're saying that's the soul stone.
Oh,
makes sense.
And
makes
I guess
does it?
I guess loosely.
He had no soul. The kid had no soul.
Loosely, it makes sense.
He had no soul.
Episode 7, then they do the Nexus, which is what the intro to the Nexus is. Basically, we don't know. They say something about like alter your reality or come back from your reality or something like that. Change your reality, which should reference the Reality Stone. But the big reveal on this is the fact that it says Nexus. Correct, Kevin?
Yes. Because within the Marvel Universe, the Nexus is a cross-dimensional gateway which provides a pathway to any and all possible realities.
Yes, that is
basically it gives you the entire multiverse,
right?
Where all realities can intersect.
This is where it gets interesting, guys. So, Nexus beings are rare individuals who can affect probability factors in the universal time stream.
Right.
Those characters could very well lead us easily into the Fantastic Four if we're not careful. And we're talking about Kang the Conqueror, and we're talking about Nathaniel Richards, of course. So, Kang the Conqueror is a huge villain that there's a lot of similarities between him and Thanos' quest with the Gauntlet. Only Kang has kind of already done it, in the future. And he's just traveling back through time and creating havoc. So it's hard to create a character like Kang right after, as the big baddie, right after you have someone like Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Well, he would be Immortus.
Right.
First.
So the only way you could do that is if you link him to one of his past characters that he was before Kang. And then eventually reveal Kang in the Ant-Man film, which we already know he's going to be the big baddie in.
Right.
Which is weird to me. I don't understand that one at all.
The quantum realm.
I don't know if they're going humor with this, with Kang, and if so, I don't know how that's going to work. I'm intrigued, but I'm confused, in other words, with this. And Jarrett says this is how we get them X-Men. And
yes,
yeah, you could be absolutely right. Moving within the Nexus and having these characters alter the time stream, so to speak, the portals to other dimensions, other realities, and stuff. You absolutely could get those X-Men.
Also, if you remember Star Trek Generations, that's how you got Kirk and Picard together. Was through the Nexus.
Wow. Nerd.
Are you saying that we're going to get Kirk and Picard in this universe, Kevin?
Hey, why not? Anything's possible.
True.
It's true.
True.
I mean, you did get that rash to clear up, so there's that.
Yeah. Right. Well, and then again, there's tons of people that can appear. I mean, there's tons of sorcerers and sorceresses
Mm-hmm.
that can appear.
Mordred. Mordred was in Marvel Chillers is a big book that those that number one that haven't picked up on it. That's
Yeah, I think you have a couple of copies of those.
Chthon's first appearances in that Marvel Chillers number one, and that was easily $1 to $2 book for forever. I have multiple copies of it just because I loved the character Mordred and I loved the cover. Every time I saw that book, I bought a copy. No, like if it was $5 or less, I owned it. You know, it was just something I always got.
You know, that's funny. It's a big thing with collectors. I hear that all the time. There's always that one book, they pick it up, they see it, and just pick that one up, and they have like 20 copies of it.
It's true.
I like that. Well, then another one is that just popped up on Key Collector, I think yesterday, was Adventure into Fear number 11, which is actually the first appearance of Nexus, first mention of Nexus. And then from that, you got Thog, who's a Hell Lord, and then you got Jennifer Kale, who is a sorceress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's so many possibilities. It's kind of cool. It's very interesting. I don't know. I know people that don't like this show. It's because they're probably not familiar with any of the directions this show can go, which makes it really interesting.
Right.
I think that's the most interesting part, is that you don't know where it's going to go. Yes, you have two familiar characters from the Avengers, but you just don't know where it's going to go, and that's the best part.
Right. In Adam, thanks for joining us. He says they already said they're bringing in Kang as the next big baddie. And to a point, I've heard that. I've heard that Kang's going to be a big part of this. But we don't know to what extent yet. If he's going to be Thanos-level big baddie, or if we're going to get different incarnations of Kang throughout this. So maybe in this section we're going to get Immortus, and then later on we're going to get what was it, Rama? Was it Rama? What was his? He's had like 3 or 4 different incarnations.
Right. And then there's also the Timekeepers. They had mentioned them in Loki. There was some little reference to them, and that book has been going up a lot. I think it's the first full appearance of Immortus. I don't know what number of Avengers book that is, but that's going to be a big deal. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy.
Ramatut I think it was Ramatut was another big one
Ramatut
from Fantastic Four. That's another version of Kang the Conqueror. We've got another mention here. Taylor says in the comics, Agatha is Wanda's mentor. She does eventually become her mentor. She is her arch rival, kind of her nemesis at first, but then she does become kind of a character for good. So that's a bit of a spoiler, maybe, we don't know. She's maybe there to try to lead. Do you think maybe she's there to try to lead Wanda down the wrong path, and that's why she's been there to always help her?
That's what happened in the book. She became kind of bad, kind of evil.
Mm-hmm.
Wanda did.
Yeah. So it's possible that she could be turning Wanda evil in. Maybe Wanda's one of the big baddies for the MCU next phase.
What if Wanda does the opposite of M-Day? Remember when she shut down the mutant powers?
Yep.
What if she does the opposite, actually activated the mutant powers?
Oh, there you go.
That could very well be, because in the comic books, for those that don't know, Wanda basically said no more mutants. She had had enough. And every mutant became sterile. Like, they couldn't have children. They couldn't have other mutant children.
A few exceptions, yeah.
Those that were mutants stayed mutants, but that was it. You know, there was no more mutants. So it became like they really became an endangered species, like, and Homo superior, and they were very nervous and worried for a long time. And that storyline went on in typical Marvel X-Men fashion for about 75 years. So
yes.
Yeah. Shant popped on, and he says Avengers 10 was first Immortus. I knew Shant would know. Shant's got.
He knows everything.
I believe Shant has every version of Kang the Conqueror. He was collecting that for forever.
Yes, he beat me to one day at a friend's store. Like, we were going to the books, and I pulled out a Havoc, and I was like, "Hey, he has a Havoc," and right behind it was the Kang the Conqueror copy. And he goes, oh, look at this. And I'm like, I want that. So I'm good. Great.
Yep.
Thanks, Sean.
Jaunt. It's all right.
Yeah.
It happens, buddy.
Kevin, you know what Sean loves more than anything is when you tell him how successful he is.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I mean, Jaunt, he has $450,000 in investment opportunities just headed your way anytime you need, Kevin. He's a very powerful, very rich man.
He's got a 6-bedroom mansion in Canoga Park.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I didn't know those existed.
I heard he has sex like an eagle. He falls out of the sky when it happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sean's amazing.
There's a lot of skills with this guy, Sean. And we've lost 4 viewers since then. So, Raphael says, people...
It would be cool if she can activate the X gene. That would be something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Raphael says, people always say they want a true-to-comic show, and as we collector, there are always time in books when it's slow and leads to big things, and this is what makes this cool. I think what he's saying is that sometimes the comic books build things a little too slowly for what we can tolerate in the MCU, so they have to kind of expedite it. And both things are really cool, getting that build up in the comics, but then getting the expedited version in the films. I think that's what you mean, Raphael. If I'm incorrect, let me know.
Do you think that's what they're doing with these shows?
Yeah.
Is that the build-up? Is the build-up to the movie?
I think this is probably one of the smartest things they've ever done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a way to handle the great climax of the Infinity Saga. You don't want to just dive into a huge, another epic saga yet. You want to build up to it.
Yeah, because after this, we got the other next show. What's the next show? The Falcon and the
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll build up to something, another movie.
Then Loki will lead to something.
Sean says, please, I don't like to brag. I was on the Shang-Chi train early on. Sean?
That's true.
I was right there with you, buddy. I got several copies of Shang-Chi just because the character was cool and cheap. I was hunting for Hercules for probably 6-7 years. I wanted to get a good copy of the first Hercules. And never could find it. And then Kevin, right here, this beautiful, beautiful mocha-colored man in the middle there, he comes over to me and he's like, brother, I found a copy for you. And I went, oh my God, take me to it. And he took me to it and I bought it and it was a blessed day, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yes, you were so happy.
I was super happy. Super happy. Raphael says, you tell the side stories in TV to build to the motion pictures. Yeah, that's exactly. Yep, I got you. We're in sync here. I got you. Mm-hmm. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So yeah, any other theories or ideas that you guys have that you want to throw out real quick here?
Well, I think the scrolls are here.
Oh,
interesting. We talked about before the show started. Right. That's very possible.
I think the scrolls are on the outside of the hex. They're part of Sword, or the people that Monica Rambeau said she was bringing. Everybody was reading for Reed Richards, and I think she brought the scrolls unknowingly to her. She brought the scrolls
because there's a connection to her mother, and of course to the Captain Marvel movie. So that's very possible.
Yeah, and I definitely want to see some scroll action. Definitely. All right.
Scrolls. Yeah, because of the tie-in to Captain Marvel, the fact that Monica Rambeau was the second Captain Marvel, they could be implementing a lot of theory revolves around that leader, the guy that's leading the Sword right now. He's kind of a dick.
Yes.
A lot of theories are revolving around him being an actual Skrull. So it is possible. Plus, we don't know much about that series coming up, so we need a good, how they had Hydra and they had in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sucked until we got the reveal of Hydra. And then it actually became a decent show because there was all these sleeper agents throughout the whole thing. And then in the MCU and stuff. And it became kind of fun. Same thing with Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is a storyline that involves the Skrulls coming down for a hostile takeover over Earth. What made Captain Marvel the movie so annoying is the fact that they made Skrulls kind of almost heroic. They made them like heroes. And that's not the case. They're just like anybody else, there's good and bad. but they are a race built for pretty much for domination, for infiltrating and dominating a planet, for becoming them and then taking over, basically. And that's why the Skrulls have always been kind of bad guys. Fantastic Four, ask any four of them and they'll tell you. They'll attest to it.
That's true.
It's just the way it is. So
issue 2, I think that's when they debuted.
They could
be
very much in there and kind of infiltrating and in the background, and we don't even know it. And that is going to be a beautiful thing if that happens.
Yes.
Let's see. Is Blue Marvel going to show up? It says Sean. Sean, we think that the person that Monica needs to talk to, or that is going to talk to, is not going to be Reed Richards like everybody assumes. We think it's going to be Blue Marvel. Several of us think that that's a big possibility that it's going to be Blue Marvel.
Sorry, no Jim's office.
Adam Brashear.
Yeah, he'll come eventually, but we'll see when that happens.
By the way, there's not that many Blue Marvel books out there, so for those who have them,
yeah. Ooh, yeah, that book is hot. That book is hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really, really hot book. Even the trade, guys. If you have the trade paperback, that's
I got it for free.
That's amazingly high up there. That's worth a lot too. So
there's probably less of those than there is the book.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. Raphael says, does smoking Kat Dennings get powers being in the Hex?
That's a good question. Does Darcy Lewis get some powers, huh?
Oh, she's packing heat, I'll tell you that. She's a hottie.
She's the next Human Torch.
Yeah. Well, eventually she's going to have to hook up with the new Thor, right?
Oh, that's right.
Jane Foster, she's friends with her.
That's true.
That's very true.
How do we know that the guy that's going to come help out isn't that doctor that was in the original Thor movies? I don't remember his name. And then he was in the first Avengers movie. That was with
you're talking about Dr. Selvig?
Yeah.
That's true. Good point.
Show up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. She's the worst character, says Jarrett. Jarrett, are you talking about Darcy?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I will say Darcy's a character that small doses for me as well. I don't need a full-on story. I'm fine with her being a background character, in other words.
Yeah, she's better off a supporting character.
Yeah,
no wrong with that.
She's a good supporting character.
What about Jimmy Woo?
Jimmy Woo, Jarrett, what do you think? I think
Jimmy talking about giving him a show.
Yeah, they were talking about like an X-Files kind of show with him leading the charge. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
The FBI.
I'd love to see him in that role. I think that would be phenomenal. Put him in with somebody else. If you were going to put Jimmy Woo with somebody like some type of character, I would say a really cool one would be Jessica Jones.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that's a little bit different because she's a little snarky, and he's a little snarky, so they kind of could play off each other pretty well, I think. And she would do the behind-the-scenes investigational stuff that he can't do because he's FBI. And then, she could join him on some of these behind-the-scenes things, and they could figure stuff. I think it would be great.
Wasn't he part of Agents of Atlas also?
Oh, geez, I think you're right. I think he was part of Agents of Atlas, which is another book that's actually been heating up lately.
Yes, it has. It has. The Arrow lady is in there. That people love her for some reason. I haven't read it. I've just glanced through it a couple times. And I was like, oh, there you go, Jimmy Woo.
Yep.
Which, by the way, Jimmy Woo's first appearance is Yellow Claw #1.
Crazy.
Did one of you guys have a copy of that?
Yeah, I think Donald said he had one, right?
Yeah, I got a Yellow Claw #1 that I made a trade with I had first Big Barda, which is
that was a good trade.
Miracle
good trade.
comic.
I got a friend that's looking for one if you want to get rid of it.
Mr. Miracle comic? No, I didn't.
No. The Yellow Claw.
Oh no, Yellow Claw was that goes in the PC in the personal collection for me.
There you go.
I love those types of characters that are not good. You know what I mean? Like bad decisions were made when these characters were created.
Yes.
And I feel like somebody should maintain them and collect them and make sure that they don't all get burnt. In other words,
Right, right,
like,
right.
you get what I'm saying. Like,
No, I totally do.
so for me,
It's not a PC cover.
right. It's not one I'm going to hang up on my wall either. I'm like,
In the bathroom?
yeah,
In the bathroom?
not in the bathroom. Surprisingly, there are no more comic books in my bathroom. I used to have
Really?
those that don't know. I used to have a wall of rotating comic books that would be in the bathroom. All the frames are taken down. Everything was taken down off the wall. It's just a plain wall now.
Why?
Yeah, that's a
They
good
just
question.
the frames kept falling apart. They were getting old, and it's hard to find really good frames at a reasonable price that hold comic books. So until I can get some good comic book frames, the wall's just going to stay empty for now, and that's okay. That's okay.
I'm sad. I'm sad to hear that.
You'll have less to look at when you're taking shit. That's all.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see. Janet says, "See you all next time." Well, thank you for joining us, Janet. We appreciate you popping in.
Thank you.
Raphael says, "LOL, key collector blowing up right now." Well, that's probably because of us. I'm sorry, Raphael. We should talk about comic books you own that you want to make money off of, and we'll talk about them, and then they'll be very popular. Julio, what was that comic book? The first actual Ninja Turtle appearance?
Amazing Heroes 45. That's the first ad. Yeah.
The first ad ever. Now,
by the way, that's something we gotta do a show about. This was very strange. I find confusing. These preview books, these things with the ad is now the first appearance.
It's stupid.
It's getting silly. Like, for example, like the Spawn preview book for Diamond. I think I have that back east in my dad's attic. I saw that was on Key. That was on Key Collector for like $700. I'm like, I think I have that. I gotta look that up next time I go back east. So I used to collect some of those Diamond preview books back in the day when I was a kid.
I don't understand.
It's stupid.
I mean, okay. The first of all, it's not it's the Miles Morales. They have the previews from. We all know what the previews is.
Yeah, Marvel previews 94, 95. Yeah.
Come on, man. It's not even a real comic book. It's just, and then
it's just plain market manipulation. Let's be honest with you. Be honest about this. It's just pure market manipulation. Since I have a few of these, let me just create a buzz and use certain YouTube channels to push it, and then there you go. Everyone's going crazy wanting it.
But I mean, like we were talking about the cards earlier, and right now everybody wants the X-Force 1 Deadpool card. They're saying that it's his second appearance, and it's also his rookie card.
His rookie card. I'm like, come on, this is getting silly.
Wow, I don't. Yeah.
That's now a thing.
I think that's going to be Jarrett and I have a segment that we do. Jarrett, who's on the Real Short Box here with us, he's part-time right now, but him and I have a segment called "What Really Creases Our Pages."
Ooh, I like that.
I think that's going to be a next episode for us, is talking about the trading card boom and the
I'll be a part of that episode because I have a lot to say too on this topic.
The weirdness of this kind of stuff that's taking off that really doesn't fit. But by the way, I do have a nice set of 1995 Fleer Fox Kids Network trading cards available for those that would like to purchase.
$500.
They are available for
$500.
Yes.
Wow. I actually had a guy come in Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yeah. Saturday. Came in Saturday with a Return of the Jedi trading card box, unopened, perfect condition. And I was like, I'm totally interested in it. But he was like, people are trying to sell it for $500 to $1,000. And I'm like, trying to sell it is the key word right there.
Right.
Trying to sell it.
It was a good effort for him. Now, I just opened a pack of these. So, we're going to find out.
No, Donald, you sent it to PSA, so that pack itself
Too late.
gets graded.
Too late, I opened it, Kevin. I don't care. I got Mayor Blank from the Tick.
Ooh, nice.
I've got, Mary Jane from Spider-Man.
Sexy.
These are
check
cool.
Check the centering. Check the corners.
These are actually really cool. I've got, Professor Chrome Dome from the Tick. It's another cool one. Everybody remember Eek the Cat? Sharky?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, and then my favorite, from the X-Men, I've got a Beast card right here.
Oh.
Look at these cards, guys. These are pretty cool. actually.
Well, that Beast is one of the guys they're specking to show up at Wanda. He could be one of the people trying to help her out.
Boy,
And
if
help
it
out
was just
Sword.
straight up Hank
Nice.
McCoy before he became Beast, that would be
Imagine if it's Kelsey
Friggin'
Grammer Beast.
Nah.
I would love that. That was probably the best casting in X-Men history for me, was Kelsey Grammer as the Beast.
Yeah.
I've never been more excited because he is the voice I always heard as the Beast. It just made sense to me. His voice always just spoke of gravitas and, being the perfect Beast. And when he was, I was like, this is amazing. Let's see. Shant says Harley Quinn rookie, ? Jarrett says Eek rookie, ? 10,000K easily.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think actually this probably does have a lot of rookie cards for characters from the Fox Kids Network because they never made another set after this. They only made the one set. Now this
What
one.
year is it again?
That's why I told you not to open it.
Well, I have another unopened box, Kevin.
Oh, perfect.
So,
perfect.
We appreciate your sacrifice.
18, yeah. So I'm going to open all these. I'm going to post some pictures on our Instagram of some of these cards. And then you all can buy them off of me so I can retire. That'd be great.
Well, I want the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle box you got there.
Oh, yeah, this one right here.
Julio's willing to pay you $1,000 for that box.
Look at that.
$1,000.
That's very nice.
Look at this. That. Now, let's open this up.
What are you doing?
No, don't do it. No, don't do it. Don't open it.
Oh, don't open it? Okay.
No.
I won't open it then. All right.
Oof.
But it's here.
Look, you can put future children through college with that box,
All
man.
All right, I'm not going to open it. All right, so Shant says, who would Niles voice on the X-Men? Pyro? I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Pyro.
It's a terrible choice, Sean. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. But
that was David Hyde Pierce, right? That played Niles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to bring that show back, actually, weirdly enough. I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah, but they're going to bring it back.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
They're doing one of those.
There's not going to be another Expendable movie for Kelsey Grammer to be in?
No, I don't think so. They're doing another. I don't know why he was in that to begin with. Good Lord.
Because he was an action star.
Yeah, apparently.
He's a hero. Next to Maximus.
They did a nostalgia. They're doing a nostalgia tour with a lot of these shows and stuff, so that I can see why this would be on there. Anybody else, real quick, in the chat that has any more theories that they want to throw out before we wind down here, because we are coming to a close on this podcast. Anything that anybody else can think about that they would like to know, even if they have a question about the series or about a character in the series that they would like answered, just go ahead and throw it out there. We're happy to help.
One of the things I liked about the Halloween episode is, besides Wanda's outfit, was that Vision was dressed like old school Vision, or kind of, and he was like, "Oh, it's because you have a thing for Mexican wrestlers," and she was like, "Me gusta mucho," and I was like, I actually liked that. That was really funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That made me think of you, actually, because I know of your love for the luchadors.
Oh, I know. I love them. And I love Wanda in that little outfit. That's.
It's true.
And your wife allowed you to watch that.
Oh, I made a comment. We were watching me and the kids, and we're in all bed together watching it, and I was like, "Whoo!" And she was like, "Oh, brother." That's what she goes, "Oh, brother." Really? Okay.
You're like, "Oops."
Sorry. Yeah.
So, Anthony's asking, he says, can you talk about Wanda's kids? She had 2 boys. Basically, it was an immaculate conception because Vision can't actually have children with her, so she imagined these children and then created these children using her hex powers. She had 2 boys, William Kaplan and Tommy Shepard, if I recall. Yeah.
Speed and Wiccan, right?
William discovers that he has magic powers, so he becomes Wiccan, and then Tommy discovers he has speed, so he becomes Speed. And no, Jarrett, one of them was not Anakin.
That would bring balance to everything.
Yep. And I believe wasn't Wiccan at some point then revealed to be a gay character in the MCU, correct?
North Star.
No.
No, that's somebody else. Somebody else.
Yeah.
North Star. Doesn't Wiccan have a relationship with Hulkling?
Yes.
Yeah. So Wiccan's gay and in love with Hulkling, and North Star is a completely different character, Julio. That is in love with another man, and that wedding
Alpha
issue in X-Men comics took place about 9 years ago, I think, maybe a little less.
What, Young Avengers? It was more than that, I think, right?
This was an X-Men comic with a marriage of North Star and his.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was about a decade ago.
Yeah.
You know who what I would like to see is what's his name? I think he's Japanese and he has the flame powers. Fire.
Oh, Sunspot?
No, Sunspot. Sunspot's from the X-Force. This guy.
Yeah.
Was a different character, I thought. Firestar or something like that, or Fire.
No. Firestar is a lady.
She's a lady.
Well, that would explain a lot. I was very confused. No, it was a different character. Sunfire.
So okay.
Right? Sunfire's a character. Yes. They did a lot. They did an issue of the Uncanny X-Men where Apocalypse's underling, which is basically like Desaad from
was Ozymandias?
Apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Ozymandias. He was experimenting him on Sunfire and had amputated his legs, taken both his legs from the knee down, and he was trying to escape at that point. It was a very interesting comic story that was going on then.
I'm gonna take his legs.
Yeah. Oh, we got 2 Sunfires. Thank you, Jarrett. Thank you, Sean. I knew it was Sunfire. Anyway. Sean says, how do they tie everything into the Tom King Vision storyline? Sean, they don't. That's how it's going to succeed. Yeah. They don't tie it into that.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about one writer that's completely overrated, it's Tom King. And
I kind of remember liking the Vision story. Yeah.
You can like it. You can like it, but it's not like
the greatest thing ever written.
Right. And I've read the Mr. Miracle story, and it started out extremely interesting, and then halfway through, I was just like, I'm over this. I was just bored, and I didn't care. And I just think that there's an overrated factor with that. It's like this Dark Knight metal thing that's been going on for 7 years.
Oh, I don't like it.
I would love for that to go away at any point in time and never come back. And
the metal universe is going to become what Infinite Crisis was. You're going to be able to go refer to that or go to that to fix your mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
great,
because that whole 52 thing that happened when Dr. Manhattan created that, they were going to use him to go that, and everybody was like, "Stupid."
Yep. Jarrett, I don't know why you had to bring up Fabian, but that son of a bitch can't write himself out of a paper sack.
Hey, I see Raphael's mentioning Sinister.
Yes, Kevin, he's mentioning your favorite character of all time.
Well, actually, my second favorite X-Men villain of all time.
We just got a beautiful 9/8 that just came back from CGC.
Of X-Men 221?
Yeah.
Beautiful. How much are you procuring that for?
I think we have it at $550 right now, which is a super reasonable offer for a book that's only going to go up.
That's true.
White pages, white privilege, I like to call it.
Sweet white pages, clean white pages.
Yeah, beautiful book.
Those pages are wider than my teeth.
That book in Auburn, California.
Auburn, California.
And I brought it back.
Well.
Very nice. Yeah.
Is it Stu-Ning? Stu-Ning is what Sean's saying. Is it Stu-Ning? Is that a character of somebody that's going to show up in Shang-Chi, or
no? I think he's trying to say stunning. Is it stunning?
I think
it's
so,
stunning.
Too.
That's what he's trying to say.
Oh, the book, yeah, it's stunning.
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to say.
Stu-Ning.
Yeah, right. Stu-Ning.
He's got Spectrum Internet. That's what it is.
That's probably what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
They're never going to sponsor this show.
Probably not. So real quick, we just want to mention that Julio, you do another podcast, correct, with some other gents?
I do, and we're on hiatus right now because the studio that we do it from is my buddy Jeremy's garage, and he is actually moving to a new house, and so we're going to be off the air for a month. It is called Murder of Nerds.
Nice.
And it is similar to what you guys do, not as well as you guys do it.
Well, obviously.
Oh, you're too nice. You're too kind.
Very new at this whole entire thing, so. Yeah. But we'll get there one day. One day.
We'll get there. One day.
And yeah. So and then me and a Tiff Myers, who's probably should be watching this right now.
I sent him the link. I sent him the
link. Popped on that I've seen.
Every week I send a Tiff the link, but maybe he's busy working. I don't know.
That is not true, Kevin. That is a lie. I just caught him in a lie. Because I asked the Tiff a couple weeks ago when I was on the last time, and he said, "Okay, Kevin, stop sending me the links." I'm like, "Oh, all right."
Wait, he wants me to stop sending him the links?
No, he said you stopped sending him the links.
Kevin, you need.
I don't know about that. I've sent him the link like 3 or 4 straight weeks now.
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah.
Me and a Tiff, my writing partner and good friend, we're going to be starting our own. So. The only problem is that it's stopping us is the fact with the studio being closed, and we can't find a name. So I think we should have a contest on your show where somebody figures out our name.
That's a good idea.
We're a topical thing that can lead anywhere. Basically, 2 nerds talking about the whole entire world.
How about 2 nerds, 1 cup?
Wow.
Maybe, because I'm the only one that drinks in that duo. You know, he's like Kevin. He doesn't drink.
He's a teetotaler, huh?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'll drink enough for the both of us.
All right, so Murder of Nerds, and then you and a Tiff are going to start your own. And anybody in the chat section that wants to throw out a name for Julio's new podcast that he's going to be working on, please feel free to do so. Also, you can hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to let us know if you came up with a name idea. You can also text us if you have our personal information. Or hit us up on our personal Facebooks. You can do that.
TikTok. Julio's on TikTok. Hit him up there.
Yes. Ooh.
He's always flossing on TikTok. I know. It's very popular. Floss Papa, I think, is what they call him. But
Floss Papa, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Also, Julio, are you doing any other claim sales coming up with the shop, or any big things coming up?
Oh, well, we just had our mystery pool sale on Saturday, which was great. Donald had a spot on there. He came in and chit-chatted it up. It was nice to have you on there.
Thank
you. We are this weekend, this Saturday. I don't know if everybody has to know this. It's Pokemon Day, National Pokemon Day.
That's right.
On Saturday. So we're going to have vendors in the parking lot. We're celebrating the 25th anniversary of Pokemon because we've ventured into that world of selling Pokemon cards, which I have no idea.
Great time to come in.
Yeah, I mean, it is unbelievable. It's like crack.
I have a rare Black Lotus Grogu card that you might be interested in.
Oh, bring it in. Yeah. Bring it in. Yeah, so we're celebrating on Saturday with Bartertown, and which is our merchants and vendors come and set up in our parking lot, and we're gonna have Pokemon vendors there. We're gonna have a human Pokemon ball there to take pictures with the kids. We're gonna watch on the TV. We're gonna have Post Malone's concert. He's doing a concert for Pokemon.
Yeah, everyone dresses Pikachu.
That's cool. Good for him.
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, Kevin, sometimes when you shower, I Pikachu.
Yeah, you're sick. You're a sick man.
So dirty. Send the Polaroid.
By the way, Julio, Jarrett says Culture Pop for your name.
Oh, I like that. That's not bad.
It actually has a really nice ring to it. Culture Pop.
Yeah.
I like that.
We are Culture Pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
One to consider.
There you go. Write it down.
So with that, I think we're going to...
Oh, I see one. The True Poly Bag.
The True Poly Bag. Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, the True Poly Bag.
True Poly Bag.
Oh, there you go. That's a possibility.
You're going to get all kinds of polyamorous people hitting you guys up on that podcast, let me tell you. It's not going to go over well. He's leading you down a dark path, Julio. You better back away.
I've been walking on it for years, so it's totally good.
I know I'm ridiculous, Sammy. I can't help it, and you know that. It's a condition. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in and listening to our theories. If you have more theories or thoughts, feel free to reach out to us, of course, again, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Stop by Julio's shop, We Can Be Heroes in Chatsworth, California, if you get a chance. It's a great shop, a lot of fun. We all have a good time while we're there. We're going to be doing some future live podcasts from there as well, so
I can't wait.
Always keep that in mind. As soon as things open up a bit more, we're going to get in there. We're going to get our hands in there. We're going to just spread it out real nice. It's going to be great.
That's dirty.
I know, it was pretty dirty. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
so dirty.
So dirty. And we have our live podcast pretty much every week, every Monday, on YouTube Live under the Rumble Spoon Productions page. We also have our regular audio podcast, which is streamable on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, TuneIn, and a whole multitude of others. So if you find us, if you can't find us, reach out to us, let us know, and let us know what you're trying to listen to us on, and we'll get on that platform for you. We're willing to do that. But with that, thanks again to Julio for joining us. Thank you to the audience for reaching out to us and being on here on this this wonderful Monday evening for the WandaVision theories. And if we don't see you out and about anytime soon, hopefully we will see you
at the sweet, near mint, valuable, precious comic book shop.
Wow.